Welcome to the show!
Welcome back to the Island Shuffle, the only show where we talk about Lost in any order.
Any order that we want, or any order that chaos dictates, rather.
Chaos decides.
Chaos every week comes up and says, hey now.
This one, please.
This one, please, for me. And we say, well, we gotta. And so it is, and so it shall be, and so it shall be forevermore. This is episode 80.
80. We are now 2/3 of the way through the show.
We sure are.
And my God, that's a lot of Lost to watch.
That's a lot of Lost to watch, and we only have to do about half as much as we've already done to get to the end of it.
That is encouraging, honestly.
Yeah, we're on a we're on a downward slope, and it only gets easier from here.
It's all uphill from here.
Yes.
Every passing week is another episode of Lost that you never have to watch again.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. We never have to watch this one again.
I don't know if I'll ever watch the show Lost again after this.
You know, I don't either.
I feel like I've engaged with it so much.
Yes.
I don't know what else you can do with the show.
Yeah, there was a point in time where I was like watching and rewatching this show.
Yeah.
I was like watching it over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Because it would be like, you know, you want to fucking go back and see like, oh, what little pieces did I miss? I wonder if this is a clue. Oh, a clue.
A clue.
A clue. And the clue. And I go, now, like, I think since it stopped airing, I watched it all the way through once since then.
Uh-huh.
And now again.
And now here we are.
And I can't imagine myself going back to it ever again, except for maybe like if I want to watch like the big ones.
Yeah.
Fucking The Constant or some shit.
Yeah, totally.
I could totally see that. But I could not see myself doing a full rewatch.
The full thing seems like way too much at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fair. I mean,
it's a lot of
most
television.
shows I like, I would never watch 6 seasons at 1 hour episodes.
Yes.
Like pretty much 24
yes, there are
episodes per season.
Even shows I like, I rarely watch over again.
Yeah.
These days. And also like most of the shows I like are like short now. They're not like
Totally,
fucking 120 episodes long.
Shows got better.
Shows got better. And Lost helped them get there.
Yeah,
because we
totally.
learned from
By
its
being
mistakes.
bad.
By being bad, and we learned from its mistakes.
And my God, today was a good example of the good and the bad that
Yeah.
Lost can do.
Yeah, it was yet another mixed bag.
It was a mixed bag. What was it called?
This is season 4, episode 10, and it's called Something Nice Back Home.
Something nice back home. So they're trying to find something nice back home. And
Yeah.
oh my God, they sort of do for a minute.
For a second, they do. Where do you want to start with here? We got the present and the future.
Let's do... Can we do the future first? Because I think that's the thing I'm the most mad at.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I like
find
that.
the future this time I found quite frustrating.
Also, I like the idea of a thing that I wish they leaned more in with the future stuff. You know, you're probably 80 episodes deep in, but just to refresh.
Uh-huh.
Season 4 introduces the idea that some people get off the island, and instead of flashing back to their past, we see their forward, which is their life living off the island. And
Which is not a bad idea, I
No.
think. That's actually quite interesting.
a thing that I wish would have made it more interesting is if they, like, centered around, like, instead of being like, this is the on-island stuff, and they're going to the future,
Uh-huh.
they tried to frame it as, like, here's them in the future, remembering their time on the island.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know why that would be better, but
Uh-huh.
like for some reason I think it would be cool.
That's interesting. Because I guess it's sort of... That's how it's framed for the first 3 seasons. It's like their past is sort of them remembering their past, and it's always supposed to somewhat speak towards what they're doing right now.
Exactly.
They're supposed to play together a little bit.
Exactly. For instance, like just last episode, Danielle Rousseau asks Saeed Jarrah, hey, this eye patched man is no use to us. You already have the information we need. Why don't we just kill him?
Uh-huh.
And then Saeed remembers that scene where he was locked up and tortured.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And the lady showed mercy.
So there's a constant connection, and like the present speaks to the past.
Exactly.
And then whenever they go to flash forwards, they just remove that connection.
Exactly. It doesn't
entirely.
make sense that like Jack is like envisioning the future at all.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just like dumb.
Yeah. But so in this future, I mean, Jack is, he wakes up in a house, let me tell you.
He wakes up in a heck of a house. He has a normal day. He gets up, gets the phone call, says, all right, time to go into work.
Work time, baby.
Gets up, picks up a pair of panties off the ground, and we all go, "Oh, Jack, you sly,
fucking a lady, Jack."
sly little doggy."
Yeah.
I also want to point out this is our like second or third Jack episode in like a week or so.
Yeah.
We hate to admit it, but Jack might be becoming the protagonist.
He is the protagonist now, I think.
Which is a
and
shame.
Might remain so.
Yeah, we did learn that he becomes the god of the island.
Yeah, so
So it's important to understand this man.
understandably. But he's not very good. But we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. He he steps on a little Star Wars toy and goes, "Oh no."
He says son of a bitch.
He says son of a
which I
bitch.
think is an interesting line to put in his mouth in that moment.
Mm-hmm. It humanizes him. This whole scene feels very just like, all right, just regular day. He's like cleans up some glasses of wine from last night. He, gets himself ready for a shower, looks at the razor and goes, all right. But who's in the shower already?
It's Kate.
It's Kate, my man.
Kate Austen.
Kate Austen.
The love of Jack's life. And now they're together in the
s-
same home.
They share a home. They're smooching. And
They have Aaron
they're
not in the room.
They're raising Aaron as their own child.
Yeah.
And Jack reads Aaron a bedtime story, and Kate watches and is all like, "Aw,
Sweet.
Isn't
You're so cute,
isn't
Jack.
isn't this a sweet little scene? Oh my my my."
And then Jack is like, how do I fuck this up? This sucks. I'm a fucking loser. And then he ruins it all.
More or less, that's it. Huh? That's kind of the ish. There's a few details I want to focus on first, though.
Sorry, I did skip some stuff.
I mean, we could be like, I kind of like this new approach where we could just be like, boop boop, we're out of here. But Jack mentions like, oh, my dad read me this story.
Yeah.
And Kate's like, oh, it's nice to hear you say nice things about your dad. And like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Fair, but also Jack's dad.
Jack's dad is a shit.
Jack's dad
He killed a lady.
killed a lady due to his alcoholism.
Yeah. And then killed himself due to his alcoholism.
Yeah. So
And then,
haunted Jack
yeah.
and the island.
You know what's interesting, actually, is Jack's dad was, like, getting it all together.
Yeah.
And then Jack ran into Jack's dad's, like, AA meeting and accused him of sleeping with Jack's wife.
That's right. I forgot
Yeah.
that happened.
He was doing so well.
He was doing good.
So Jack might have killed Jack's dad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jack sucks.
Yeah, well, we always knew that.
Jack's a miserable guy.
Yeah,
who's
he's not good.
He's a bad one. Oh man. Great funny Jack moments.
Funny old guy.
Funny old guy.
Oh, you little old buddy, old pal.
So, what happened next? Oh.
Jack goes to see well, he's at work, right?
He's at work.
He gets a phone call.
He gets a phone call, says, "We need your help." And he goes off to a mental health institute where the doctor is telling him like he stopped taking his meds. And therapy has been rendered useless, which is a comforting sign for a mental health official. Just like love to see them just be like, "There's no point."
It fucking sucks. This guy's what you want me to say? He's crazy.
Nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help, but I don't know.
He's only at supposedly the best facility that money can buy.
Therapy has been rendered useless.
Yeah.
It's
No.
pointless. There's no point.
It's we stopped.
Classic trait of doctors. The classic why bother. This guy's a lost cause. No point.
Well, it's doctor to doctor talk here.
That's true. Profession. Just letting off some steam.
It's like whenever Jack is like doing a surgery and then it gets complicated and he's like, fuck it, I'm going home.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
You know what? It seems like this guy's body wants to die.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna call it like I sees it.
Yeah, we're shutting her down.
Taking off early. It's
Yeah.
Friday night.
He'll still be here on Monday. He's not going anywhere. He's knocked out.
Anyways, who are they talking about, by the way?
Hurley.
Hurley is
Squirrely Hurley.
Hurley's feeling. Hurley's checked himself into a mental health institute, and Jack is there to comfort him. And he says, "Hey, Hurley, how's it going?" And Hurley's just sitting motionless and staring ahead and being like, "I'm fine." This show does not know how to portray the mentally ill.
No. No, he's like him and Faraday both are the
Yeah.
only people who like deal with mental illness, and
It
it is just being quiet.
Yeah, it's
is
just
what it is.
It's just being quiet and being like a cartoon guy.
Yeah.
It's
not moving, not really being able to speak in any sort of normal way.
Yeah, it's pretty insulting to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But anyways, Hurley's here and he's staring ahead, and Hurley thinks that they all died. That's where he's at.
And then he makes some compelling arguments for it.
He says, the number one thing he says, he talks to Charlie's ghost.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
If you talk to Charlie's ghost and Charlie's ghost is dead, you could make the assumption based off that you might also be dead. I get it, Hurley.
He also asks Jack, "What do you get up to today?" And Jack's like, "Well, I had a regular day with my GF Kate and our adopted son Aaron." And he says like with tears welling up in his eyes, like, "Oh, you and Kate and Aaron in a domestic home, just living a normal life. Sounds perfect, almost like heaven." And Jack fucking rolls his eyes.
Yeah,
as
Jack's
we all
like,
do.
"You're crazy, Hurley. Take your goddamn meds." Oh, and then Hurley says something else.
Yeah, Hurley says something ridiculous. Hurley says like, I talked to Charlie's ghost, and Charlie's ghost wanted me to pass along a message to you, and the message is, you're not supposed to raise him.
Which is like, what the fuck, Charlie's ghost? Why?
And Hurley's like, "Oh, you think they might me talking about Aaron?"
And it's like, obviously, Charlie did try and steal that child several times.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm supposed to raise him.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to raise that baby.
Idiot.
That's why I stole it so many times."
Well, don't go and die. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what you get. So Jack says, "All right, take your meds, Hurley," and leaves, visibly rattled. But Hurley says one last thing. He said, "Charlie told me also that someone would be coming to visit you two soon."
What?
Bum, bum, bum. What do you... It's stupid. Nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah. Why can Charlie's ghost tell the future? Why? How does that make any sense? It's like it sucks because Lost before I think season 3 or so was at least somewhat decent at making it like more sci-fi than like inexplicable paranormal.
Yeah.
And then the real like unanswered things were like the smoke monster, things like that, which are paranormal, but I think you sort of assumed that you would get some sort of answer.
What's the Dharma Initiative up to?
Yeah, exactly, which is like cool sci-fi. And then you get this where it's like, "Oh, I'm talking to Charlie's ghost and he tells the future now." And it's like, fuck you.
And
this sucks.
And like there's potential in Charlie's ghost.
Yeah,
I
totally.
like the scene where Hurley talks to Charlie's ghost that we have already seen, where Charlie's just like insisting like, "Yes, I'm a ghost," and Hurley's like, "I must just be losing my mind." And like,
I do remember that. Yeah.
And like there's like something to that.
Yeah.
But to make Charlie's ghost be like, "Oh, you can't have a kid. You can't have happiness, Jack."
It's so dumb. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with Charlie's personality.
No, why would
whatsoever.
Charlie give a heck?
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, he would want what's best for Aaron, and he'd be like, "Oh, this seems like a good situation."
Yeah, no, I think this is just a huge prank by Charlie.
Yeah, I'm gonna spook him.
This will show him for saving my life that time.
But you know what sucks? So Hurley says like, "Oh, it seems like heaven to me," and then Jack says something along the lines of like, "Just because I'm happy, it doesn't mean that we're in heaven, or just because I'm happy, it doesn't mean that we're all dead."
Yeah.
And then everything that Jack does after that indicates that Jack is so deeply unhappy.
Yeah.
Just rendering like his response so incredibly useless. And it's like he could have a much better response to Hurley if because he is unhappy. He could be like, "Listen, Hurley, like it fucking sucks here.
Yeah.
You're suffering, I'm suffering.
Yeah.
This is not what heaven is." But he just gives this line that is patently false.
Yeah. He could even be honest and be like, "Hey, yeah, like you said." Anyways, I'm not going to repeat what you just said. I realized I caught myself about to do that.
You should do it word for word. We can listen back and then you'll
That would be great.
give the speech.
So, almost to say like "fuck you" to Charlie's ghost, Jack goes back and not immediately, but like goes to Kate, who's sleeping,
Uh-huh.
wakes Kate up and says, "Hey, do you really think I'm good at this being a dad thing?" And Kate says, "Of course, sweetie, you're the best." And Jack says, "All right, well, here it is, a ring for us. Will you marry me?" Ba-da-ba.
And Kate's like, yes, of course I will.
Yes.
And then the viewer is like, that sort of came out of nowhere, but okay.
That sort of came out of nowhere, but, like, sure.
All right. I
These-
guess this is a thing that they're going to do and that will play a substantial role in the progression of these characters' paths moving forward.
Yeah, this is an interesting enough hook. These characters have been kind of on and off throughout the course of the show, arguably the central relationship. This, it's interesting to see this come about. This is also the only time we see them, like, as an item officially,
Totally.
right? Instead of being like
It's been 5 minutes so far and now they're engaged.
Exactly. It's kind of like they, after like 4 years of being like, oh, I kissed him and oh no, but I wanted to kiss Sawyer.
Uh-oh.
For it to be like, I love you, will you marry me? Is like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
sure.
totally. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, sure. I'll accept this. This is fine. Then Jack's at work, late night at the office. Late night looking at x-rays. Beep, beep, beep. What's a beeping? He hears a beeping. Goes,
smoke detector.
Smoke detector. He says, what's this? What could this be, I wonder? And so he fixes the smoke detector, and then he hears a voice say, Jack! And then the camera cuts to a chair and goes, bump, bump, and who's sitting there?
Christian. Jack's dad is there.
Jack's dad is there, and Jack is rattled. He goes, what? But then another doctor says, Jack, are you okay? And Jack turns around, looks at the doctor, turns back around to the chair. Dad's gone.
Dad's gone.
And Jack, like, loses it.
He's so freaked out and
like,
scared and sad, and
like,
it's like, okay.
He's, like, laughing and, like, crying.
Yeah.
And, like, he's just like, I was just here there was a smoke detector, and, like, that's, you see your dad, and you go, oh, and then someone sneaks up on you. That disarms you.
Yeah, that's scary.
A vulnerable moment. Sure. Valid. Then
he's like, hey, doc.
Hey, doctor. Can you do me a favor? Could you write me a script for clonazepam? I think that's right.
Yeah, sleeping pills.
I've been under so much stress at work. And the doctor doesn't even hesitate, writes in the script.
They're like, yeah, sure, whatever, buddy.
And he's
I'm trying to go home, you dick.
And he's like, oh, I heard, congrats on the engagement. I thought engagements were supposed to, be happy. Maybe you should see a therapist.
And Jack is like, yeah, I'll do that. End of scene. And he will never do that.
He doesn't do that. Spoiler alert. Jack comes home and sees Kate talking on the phone to Noreen.
Oh, yeah, to Noreen.
And
Jack's like, who are you talking to? And Kate's like, Noreen.
And Jack's like, who's Noreen? Kate's like, oh, one of the moms from the park. You haven't mentioned Noreen before. Well, I've mentioned her now. Anyways, I'll see you upstairs. Jack pops 2 pills and cracks open a cold one.
Cracks open a beer. Because you know how whenever your wife talks to Noreen, you got to fucking drink.
Yeah, it's time to kick it off big.
And they make sure to make him sort of chug so you know that he's, like, distress drinking.
Yes. I don't know. This doesn't feel earned at all.
No, it really doesn't.
It
came out of nowhere. Literally 2 minutes earlier, he's talking about how happy he is.
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, I saw my dad's ghost and my whole life is spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
I got engaged yesterday. I'm an alcoholic today.
Yeah, immediately I am entering a crippling addiction.
Yeah, now I'm a drug addict alcoholic.
Yeah, literally
yesterday I was the happiest man in the world.
Yeah, and then I saw Charlie's ghost. then I saw my dad.
Talked to someone who talked to Charlie's ghost who said I would have a visitor.
Yeah.
And they said that someone would be visiting both of them.
Yes.
Which doesn't happen in this episode.
True. It only visits Dad.
Yeah.
Or Dad only visits Jack.
So that is never followed through on.
Yeah. And then the next scene we see, sure enough, is Kate comes home and Jack's slumped in the chair.
Yeah.
3 bottles of beer and a bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
And pills presumably. And they get into it. They have a fight.
But I think we skipped a scene, actually.
Did we?
Because Jack comes home early from work the next day.
Right.
And Kate's like, oh, Jack, I wasn't expecting you here.
That's the phone call scene, isn't it?
That's the phone call scene.
Yeah.
Is that before or after? Or is that after?
I'm pretty sure that's before. Because that's when he's like, I'll go be upstairs. And then Jack chugs
No,
the
but
beer.
there's another one. And then Jack's like, what were you doing yesterday? Or where were you? Yes, where were you?
Is that not the 3 beers and scotch scene?
No, it's before.
Okay.
Because there's no real resolution to the where were you scene. So
Right.
basically, Jack comes home from work early,
Right.
and he's like, where were you?
Mhm.
And Kate's like, I won't tell you.
Yeah, that does happen. And you're like, why won't you tell?
Yeah, she just won't tell him. And it's a real problem. Then
Yeah.
they both are like, look upset.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the island for a minute.
Why does like I'm gonna go ahead and lay all the blame here on Jack, but like also, hey Kate, I know you're a wanted fugitive and you just had a high profile trial, but you could like tell Jack like what you're doing.
Totally. It's like, where are you? I'm not fucking telling you.
Yeah.
You only got engaged literally yesterday still.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days ago at this point.
Anyways, Jack is slumped,
Drunk.
lifted off his gourd.
Yeah.
And Kate is like visibly upset. Like, you're like, what's going on? What's wrong? And Jack is like, why won't you tell me who you were with? And Kate is like, well, I don't want to tell. They're like both crying and
Yeah.
stuff.
Jack is like yelling. He's visibly drunk.
Yeah, I will say Matthew Fox does play a mean drunk.
Yeah.
Very well. I do like hate to see him.
Yeah, totally. It's upsetting.
It is
It's cool.
upsetting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting in a real way. Kate basically ends up through tears confessing that she was doing something for him. For who? Sawyer. But Sawyer and Jack lays it out and says, Sawyer stayed behind. I made my choice and I came and I'm here with you. He's back on the island. And Kate's like, fuck you pretty much. Like you don't even know how good he is. I made a promise. This is not unreasonable. It's maybe a little unreasonable that I hid it from you.
The way that I went about it.
But like overall, I am far from at fault here.
Uh-huh.
And Kate's basically like, I don't want you like this around my son. And Jack says, he's not even really your son. And who walks in during that moment?
Aaron.
And Kate, in tears, goes to put Aaron to bed. And they look at each other, and Jack, still lit off his gourd, wanders out the house.
Walks away. And that is, I guess, the end of their romantic relationship, essentially, right?
Starts and goes just like that.
So they got engaged in the middle of the episode. They broke up by the end of the episode. And it left me just really frustrated with, this is, I think, whenever Lost really starts to, like, do things that should be of great consequence.
Yeah.
And just write them off as, I guess, like, reversible almost.
Yeah.
Because you can't have those two characters get engaged if its ramifications will not be, like, felt in full through every episode afterwards.
And they're not.
They're not.
They're
It's
not.
like, I didn't know that they got engaged, and we've seen so much season 5 and 6.
We've seen so much late and early Lost, and this episode just like to have them get engaged and break up in the same episode is wacky.
It's nuts.
To have the engagement be the emotional climax of the episode,
Yeah.
and then maybe later in an episode we see how their relationship falls apart.
Totally. That's okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's like a little more understandable and believable. I get it. It's an episodic show. You can't fucking do it all. But, like, boy, they really rushed through this one.
Also, whenever you have something so interesting to work with, where it's like, so this is Jack and Kate's sort of saga, and this is Jack's side of the story, you could literally next episode tell Kate's side of the story.
Yeah.
And, like, really explore the relationship, and it could be so cool, and you could get these different, like, angles.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They don't. Jack gets scared by 2 ghosts and then develops an addiction overnight.
Yeah, and their whole life falls apart. Whenever he was, like, happy enough to be in heaven 2 days ago.
Yeah, completely just, like, I get where it's going, but it's way too rushed for it to even, like, work at all. It's nonsense. Anyways.
Back to the island.
Back to the island.
What's going on? Jack is not feeling so
Jack's
hot,
not feeling well. Jack wakes up, and everyone's like, Jack, you okay? You look like a sick boy. And Jack says, I'm fine. And then
he falls over.
He falls on his ass and face at the same time.
Fucking
it's great.
idiot. He passes out.
And
then everyone's like, oh, what's wrong with you, Jack? And Jack's like, oh, food poisoning. I'm tired. And Juliet's like, let me look at you.
And Juliet takes a lookie and says, I don't think it's food poisoning. I think it's appendix problems.
Appendicitis.
And I think we've got a problem. And the problem is we got to take your appendix out. But we're on an island and we don't have many supplies. And
we got to go get the supplies from the medical place.
And Juliet kind of takes charge for a bit and says, like, all right, this crew got to go to the medical station to get medical supplies. It's kind of all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's kind of like
Because it's like, well, it's good. It feels like old Lost, where it's like, okay, this is important. We need to do this. There's these challenges, but I think they can do it. But then something will happen in between.
mm-hmm.
But it's like ultimately, it's an accomplishable problem that makes a lot of people work together in interesting ways.
Mm-hmm. There's life or death stuff happening in the background that like we'll get to. But, like, the main crux of this episode being just, like, is Jack going to die?
Yeah.
Even though, like, obviously Jack isn't going to die. He's the main character.
But it's like the threat is there, and it feels somewhat genuine.
Mm-hmm. It feels like, it feels like you mentioned, old Lost, which is good. Plus, it's also sick to see Juliet taking charge and being like, here. There's a moment where I think sends Sun to go to the medical staff, and Sun's like, I don't recognize all these. This is a novel size length of medical instruments.
Yeah.
I don't know what these are. Daniel volunteers and says, hey, I know you guys don't trust us yet. We can go. We can help. And there's kind of a waffling back and forth. Eventually, they agree to let Daniel and Charlotte and Jin and Sun go together to the staff.
And they give Sun a gun.
They give Jin a gun.
They give Jin a gun, sorry.
Yeah. And they're like, if one of them tries to leave, shoot them in the leg.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Big move. Just a reminder, we don't fully trust the freighter crew just yet. For reasons. It doesn't really matter. So.
They go do that.
They go do that. They go off to the medical staff. And Sun and Jin are kind of like, Sun and Jin sees the baby contraption, the ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
And Sun's like, oh, this is where I saw my baby. And Jin's like, oh, I love you and I love our baby, and I'm going to get us off this island.
I'm going to save you.
And then we see Charlotte kind of looking over and being like, whoa. And then when they get back,
save her.
And then when we get back, Jin kind of says, hey, Charlotte, I know you understand me in Korean. And Charlotte's like, but I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know
Korean. You're talking Korean to me, and I don't understand it.
I don't know. I'm just a stupid American woman.
I'm just a dumbass American. I don't know.
I
shit.
am what the fucking, what is it? The Guess Who song? American Woman?
Yeah.
I am an American woman.
She's that American woman.
Yeah, she's the American woman that they wrote about.
Mama, let me be.
American woman.
Don't come hanging around my door.
I don't want to see your face no more.
Wait, is that lyric in that song? Don't go hanging around my door.
Yeah.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, I think it is.
Who's like what?
The American woman.
Always hanging around the door.
Yes.
Outside, inside, among the door frame. The door is the hottest place to hang out.
There's nowhere else to hang out in Winnipeg.
I mean, true.
Hang out at the door.
Hang out at the door. God damn. Man, Winnipeg's got it rough, huh? Oh, well.
But yeah, so he's like, I know you speak Korean.
Yeah, and...
Fuck off.
Yeah, and it basically is like, if you don't admit the truth to me, I will hurt your friend Daniel.
And she's
I will
like,
break every one of his fingers.
It's really badass, actually.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Remember how Jin is an enforcer for the
Yeah.
mob?
Well, I did forget that, and then this scene is like, oh yeah, Jin's fucking crazy.
Jin's on one. And Charlotte's like, what do you want? And Jin's like, the helicopter comes back, you guarantee a spot for my wife. That's all. Jin just loves his wife.
That's all he wants.
Jin
he just wants to save his wife.
And
it's cool.
That's cool. That's very nice of Jin.
That's the end of Sun and Jin's story for the episode.
Yeah, it's all right.
They retrieved the medical supplies, and now Juliet wants to use them to do surgery on Jack.
But Jack has some ideas.
Forever a stubborn asshole. Jack is like, oh, I'm going to fucking stay awake during the surgery. I'll watch it all happen. I'll watch with the mirror. Kate's going to hold the mirror. And
Juliet's obviously like, I'm a surgeon. It's fine.
Stupid.
I can do that.
Yeah.
No. And Jack's like, no, I want to be awake.
I want to be awake. I want to talk you through it.
It's like, what are you?
Why, Jack?
What in the name of the
Just
world?
get your appendix removed.
Oh, my gosh. Like... So before we go into why this is dumb, I hope it's clear that it's the stupidest thing ever, but I want to wrap that up before I fucking go off about it. They start doing the surgery. It's a classic, like, remember when Boone had surgery and it was really intense and visceral?
Yeah.
This is like the inverse of that.
Yeah, totally. Bernard's there, and he's always sort of comic relief.
Yeah, Bernard's just kind of goofing. Bernard's the only like other one they have. So he's there, and he's like,
he's a dentist.
He's like, are you sure? I can knock you out with chloroform if you'd like. And Jack's like, no, Kate got a hold of mirror.
Kate got a hold of mirror. I'm going to tell Juliet how to take out my appendix.
And Juliet's like, all right, I'm going to numb this place, but it's going to hurt. Anyways, here we go. I also want to point out that, like, Jack's like, all right, like, Juliet's like, all right, Jack, you want to be awake? That's fine. But we can get someone other than Kate to hold the mirror. We have, like, I mean, Daniel, for instance, is a trained physician. Like, we can get other people.
Physicist.
Oh,
He's
fuck.
not, yeah. I think she wanted Bernard to hold the mirror.
That's right.
She was like, Bernard can be, and then, which, that was sort of funny because she's like, why do you want Kate in there helping? Like, we can get Bernard. He's a dentist.
Yeah.
He's like a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack's like, no, Kate has to hold the mirror. And Juliet's like, okay. And then they get into surgery, and Bernard is still there helping. And it's like, well, that conversation was useless.
Yeah. Juliet just loves to have Bernard around, as we all do.
Totally. She's like, Bernard, you're still coming. I need help with the medical shit. Turns out this was way better because it would be dumb to have you hold a mirror this entire time because the mirror job sucks.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay. So sure enough, Jack is no help as soon as the incision starts.
He starts like writhing around in pain.
He's writhing around and like groaning and being like, "Oh god, it hurts." And it's like, "Yeah, fucking dummy. What do you think?"
Go to sleep.
And right away, and like almost as soon as it like happens, like Juliet's like, "All right, Bernard, knock him out." And Kate's like crying, and it's a lot of like Juliet being like, "Kate, get out. Knock him out now." And Jack being like, "No, I can take it."
Bernard goes and gets chloroform, puts it on a rag, and knocks Jack the fuck out.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then like 2 minutes later, they're like, the surgery was a great success.
Great.
And we're like, yeah, fucking obviously.
Obviously, it's fine.
It's a routine procedure.
Admittedly, it's put at risk by being on an island that is unsanitary.
Yeah.
But like,
it's not very tense.
No.
We never think for a second that there's any reason for Jack to physically watch his surgery take place.
No, there's no. So like,
he doesn't have an argument here.
No, this is the flashbacks again in a nutshell, where like we start like Jack is the leader and he has to be in control.
Yeah.
But when he's not in control, that makes him kind of a stubborn guy. He wants to be in control. And so we see that. We see that demonstrated with him being like, I'm fine, and then falling over.
Yeah.
We see that demonstrated with him being like, I'm pretty sure it's just food poisoning. And Juliet being like, no, it's definitely appendicitis. Let me take care of you. Let us take care of you for once.
Which is fine. Those things are normal.
They're normal.
And that's what I would believe that a person would do.
Deeply human flaws that are relatable to a degree.
Yeah.
What's not relatable is wanting to be awake for your own surgery.
I'm staying up and I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch with the mirror. I want my crush to hold the mirror. And I want
the cutest girl on the island to hold the mirror.
The fucking mirror.
I want her to see me how cool I am.
Totally. It's like that honestly feels like maybe the best argument for Jack doing that. He's like, look at how tough I am. I can fucking stay up through surgery. I can do the surgery myself. I can take out my own appendix.
No big deal.
Like, oh my god, Jack, you're so fucking awesome. Holy shit. Let's fucking get engaged, and then 2 minutes later we'll break up. It'll be so fucking sick.
That's how Kate sounds.
Yeah, she's nuts.
She sounds like that, and it's
oh
cool.
shit, fucking shit, Jack. Oh, you're so cool, buddy. You should have cut off your own foot next time it's so back on. It'll be so sick.
I'll do anything for you, Kate. I love to do surgery on myself, even unnecessary ones. I'll put my nose on my head for you.
And what she should. Honestly, if he should lobotomize himself is what I'm saying.
Check this shit out, Kate. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ah.
Yeah.
Cool, huh? Check out my writhing insides, Kate. Want to get
Look
married?
at my powerful brain.
I could do surgery on myself if my brain was tiny, like Sawyer's.
Sawyer's fucking
tiny
brain,
and tiny
giant
dick,
dick.
and I got a big brain and a big dick. So you should be my girlfriend.
Jack is a beautiful man.
Jack is a man of many complexities.
But then it's like, this is all that happens.
Yeah, that's all.
The surgery goes well, and then Kate goes to see Juliet.
Yeah.
And Juliet's like, Jack kissed me the other day. but it was to prove to himself that he doesn't love you anymore.
While
But he does love you. And it's like, stop it right now.
while you're stitching the man up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
And-
This does not need to happen.
And then Kate is like, "This is awkward. I'm out." And then Juliet's like, "I know you're awake, Jack." And Jack
oh
wakes
my
up.
God.
Fucking what? Juliet was like doing cool shit all episode.
And then it's just like girl talk.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, the only reason girls do things.
We both love the doctor.
We
who
both love
is
the
patently a fucking idiot.
We love his big brain so
Yeah,
much.
Fuck.
I'm just a helpless girl, and even though I'm super competent all episode, I just can't. I just wanted to make Kate feel bad.
No.
Go. This is what girls are like.
Oh, life's hard. I want to marry the doctor. So, I don't know. It sucks.
It starts out so promising. It starts
Yeah.
out with like,
Starts
oh,
out good.
just like, oh, nice season 1. Just like, oh, the stakes are like reasonable,
yeah.
and even the flashback stuff is like, oh shit, cool. Like, just Jack's
Their
living a
life,
normal
it's like, this is interesting.
yeah. And then it's just like, what in the
It
world?
falls apart pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then there's one other side plot.
There is another side plot.
And we got a crew here. We are dealing with a crew.
We're dealing with a monumental crew, one for the ages.
And one for the age.
We got Sawyer, fantastic. Miles, even better. Claire, and of course the baby.
The baby. The baby.
Everyone's favorite ensemble.
Everyone's favorite stealable object, the baby.
They're all trying to steal the baby together.
And if you were guessing, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but if you were guessing that the baby would get stolt by the end of this episode,
does.
you're not wrong.
Damn, it does.
They steal the baby all the fucking time
Hell
in
yeah.
this show.
Oh my god. So the baby gets stole, and that's that. No, they're walking through the jungle. I don't know why. Who cares?
Who knows?
They're trying to get back to the beach, apparently.
Yeah. Sora's got a big gun.
So he's got a big gun. Miles sees some bodies and goes, oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
some bodies. And they're all like, no, not Danielle and Carl.
Miles
where?"
is like, it's time to establish that I can hear dead bodies now.
Yep. And they go, what the heck was that? And everybody goes, they're dead. And that's fine.
That's, 5 minutes later, everyone has forgotten about
Yeah.
it.
Then they're walking through the jungle. Here's
They
the scene.
stop by like a creek or something.
They stop by a creek. Kate is like feeding the baby. Miles is just
Not
like,
Kate, Claire.
Sorry, yeah. Claire is feeding the baby. Miles is looking around, looking at Claire, and suddenly the camera pans over, and Sawyer's just like was standing just out
there
afraid,
with a gun.
with a gun and saying, "Hey, stop looking at her!"
Don't even think about it, buddy.
And Miles is like, "What do you? What?
Why?
What are you talking about?" And Sawyer's like, "I don't trust you. You friggin' stay away from her. I got your number, bub. What the heck?
You got a restraining order, buddy.
You got a
20 feet.
Don't even. I'm gonna break your friggin' face if you even think about even looking at her or thinking about her." And
It's
Miles,
like, all right, fucking
and Miles is just like, "Whatever."
chill. Yeah, okay.
Unreasonable.
Sawyer's being insane for no reason.
Yeah, it's Sawyer's just being ridiculous. It doesn't make sense for him to be this. Then again, I don't know. We don't know the context of the scene really, so
Yeah.
maybe it's perfectly. Maybe he's on edge for some reason. I don't know. Maybe those bodies freaked him out. He saw
Maybe,
Miles talk
yeah.
to those bodies and was like,
But,
"Okay, you're not
yeah.
allowed near the baby anymore."
Feels like there's a loose thread of sense if there is a
Yeah.
thread at all.
Yeah, exactly. Not to be the lost defender. Anyways, they're walking through the woods. More.
Uh-huh.
Who comes out?
Oh, Lapidus.
Lapidus comes out, and Lapidus says, "You guys gotta hide right now. They're coming, and you gotta hide right now." And they hide, and then the military guys come through.
Uh-huh. Kimi and the other ones.
Kimi and the other ones. We haven't really seen this crew very much, but they're here.
They're from the boat, and they're like a militia that essentially wants to murder everything.
Their goal is ostensibly to get Benjamin Linus, but they just decide, what if we killed everything
Yeah.
instead for some reason?
Which is crazy.
Which is, I don't like
I don't
that.
understand why they're so bloodthirsty.
It doesn't make sense. We'll get into it when there's an episode that's a little more focused on them, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, they show up for this scene. They've got a dilapidated soldier with them.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, we gotta go. And they hear the baby crying. And it's like, oh no, are they gonna find and kill the baby? I guess. Oh no.
Uh-huh.
But then Frank is like, listen, guys, we gotta go before sundown. We gotta go right now. I'm not taking that flight at night. You know it. And so we gotta go right now. And so the boys go, all right, we're gonna stop looking to kill. And we
the
gotta
baby
go."
don't get killed.
And poof, we all breathe a sigh of relief.
And now it's time to make camp and go to bed, everybody.
We're going to bed. But then, who shows up to bed?
Jack's dad shows up to bed.
Yeah, Jack's dad shows up at camp. Remember Jack's dad? He's here too now.
And you know whose other dad he is? Claire's dad.
Yes, he is Claire's dad. I forget if we have gone over that. He's
Yeah.
Claire's dad as well. And Claire's like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And Jack's dad is just holding the baby.
Yeah.
Next scene we see is Miles poking the fire and Sawyer waking up. And Sawyer's
This
like,
is really funny, actually. Miles' sass knows no bounds.
Miles will die for the bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's nuts, actually. And he's poking the fire. So he's like, where's Claire and the baby? And Miles is just like, some man came and took them both.
No, it's like he didn't take them.
They left with him.
They left with him.
Yeah.
And Claire was calling him dad. And Claire is like, you just let them leave like that? And Miles' response is like, well, you said I have a restraining order, so I don't know what you want from me.
Womp, womp.
Got him. And then they hear a baby crying, and they go to get the baby, and the baby's sitting on a leaf. Where's Claire? Shouts
That's
Sawyer.
the end of it.
The end of the episode.
Oh, is this whenever Claire leaves and goes crazy?
Yes, I think we see her in the cabin when John Locke goes to talk to Christian. And Claire's there too, and Christian's like, "Don't worry about her." And Claire's like, "I'm safe. It's okay."
Oh, that's so lame.
It's not good.
Especially because that's not something that has been established as possible or something that ever happens again.
No.
The smoke monster does not actively recruit people to make them insane.
No, it doesn't.
And then, like, also it happens to Saeed,
Yeah.
they say, but that's after he literally dies.
Yeah, so like there's no consistency there. It's just like of no consequence really.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
no-
Claire just leaves and it's like, whatever, okay.
Yeah. At the time I definitely remember feeling like, "Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to Claire?" But then it was obviously it didn't
She
pay off at all.
disappears.
She's gone,
Yeah.
and that's that. And then she's back and she's like, "I'm of the jungle now." Whoa.
Yeah.
But it's like not even a little bit like everything else in season 6. It doesn't mean anything. So that's the episode. It starts promising, ends very disappointing.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be good. I wouldn't call it a good episode of TV.
No, I would call it a bad one almost.
Yeah.
It
It just doesn't hold together.
more bad than good.
Yeah.
Unlike last week, which was an even mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much. And honestly, I got to be honest, it left me with a lot of questions.
Oh, an insane amount of questions.
A real big amount of questions.
I've got answers.
Have you got answers?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would love to hear some of these questions and some of these answers if you got them.
Just give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
All right. Question number 1.
Please.
What is the nature of Christian's visitation to Jack in St. Sebastian, which is the hospital?
So let me try to work through this.
Uh-huh.
We know that the smoke monster can manifest as Jack's dad. He says this much.
Yeah.
And all his manifestations on the island are taken to be this.
Uh-huh.
It remains unclear or inconclusive what this could possibly be we also know that the smoke monster can't leave the island.
Uh-huh.
He just can't do that.
Uh-huh.
So what this could be is fucking I don't even know.
There's a couple different proposed solutions.
Oh hell yeah.
One says, as Hurley stated, Charlie's ghost told him that someone would be visiting Jack as well, which is not really true. Charlie's ghost said he would visit both of them.
Well,
That
Charlie
definitely
is
happened.
kind of Hurley's ghost.
Yeah,
Let's be
that's
clear.
true. So maybe Jack was seeing his visions of his father calling him back to the island, and then it goes on in a subsection of this
Yes.
ambiguous answer
Hell yeah.
to say that, well, Hurley is normally the only survivor known to be able to regularly see the dead.
Ooh.
It may be that Jack also has a much milder degree of specialness, enabling him to see Christian.
Yo, I would love it if this show, it introduces Hurley seeing dead, and Hurley introduces Miles seeing dead, and then, by the end, it's just, everybody can
Everyone's
see
singing dead.
everybody's hanging out with, the entire cast. Everybody's dead friends come in for one big hug, and that's the finale.
That answer continues, but I don't like it. I'm not
No, that's
giving it room.
by all means.
According to disputed canon, Jack was hallucinating from the unresolved guilt of leaving the island.
That's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Although this doesn't preclude the possibility that the island was giving Jack a vision via hallucination.
Shut up.
Then it says that it's probably not the monster.
Yeah.
But some people noted that Christian appears whenever the smoke detector beeps, saying maybe it was.
It's almost a clever thing.
But he can't leave the island.
He can't leave the island, so it doesn't make sense, but it's almost a clever thing.
Although unlikely.
Oh my
it
God.
It may be possible that the monster had extremely limited ability to project its manifestations to the candidates off island.
Damn.
Despite not being able to physically leave the island. I love the start of like, although unlikely, as if there's an answer.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not... You can't be right here. They didn't write this part. They fucking...
Yeah, we have all of the show.
We have the whole show. They didn't write the solution to this question. And they're like, well, it's pretty unlikely, but maybe the smoke monster can do this. And it's like, no, it can't. We know this because we watched the entire show.
It's established.
Yeah.
That's funny. Thank you all for your service.
If the island heals... Why did Jack get appendicitis?
Oh, this is a question that was raised by Rose at one point. No idea.
Seems that the island wanted to do that.
Oh, okay. It wanted to? Why did the island want that?
Because Jack was trying to leave the island, so it was trying to keep him on the island.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I buy that.
Is there any significance to Miles's noticing Claire?
I'm gonna say no to that.
Ambiguous.
Hell yeah.
Some fans noted, following the scene where Sawyer snapped at Miles not to look at Claire, that Miles also was able to see Christian taking her. Some speculated that this was tied to Miles's affinity for the dead, and that Claire might be dead to some extent. The old dead to some extent.
Sometimes you're just dead to some extent. Aren't we all a little dead to some extent on the inside?
I love this next sentence. However, this is arguably reading too much into a fleeting moment. That is followed by 2 subsections of this answer.
Yo! Lostpedia! Please.
I don't even want to go into them. It's just so much useless speculation.
Oh my God.
So let's go to the next question.
Yeah, don't even bother.
Where has Christian taken Claire?
To the cabin, and then to go live off the land or whatever.
There's a straightforward answer.
Yes.
What has Kate been doing for Sawyer? This is good.
I think we've actually seen this answer, but I'm blanking on it, so I'll let you go.
She's been taking care of his daughter Clementine.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's good.
With my favorite character on the entire show, Cassidy.
Yeah,
who
Cassidy.
helps Kate commit huge felonies.
Gets scammed, and then commits felony.
The ultimate scam.
All for a stranger.
Scamming for fun and friendship. That's
Weird.
Cassidy's MO.
And this is the last one. Why did Sawyer choose to stay on the island?
You and I actually haven't seen this,
So
I'll let you go on this one.
I read it.
Yeah.
The helicopter was running low on fuel, so Sawyer jumped to alleviate it of some of its weight so it could land on the freighter.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's true. We haven't seen that, but that does happen.
That's nice of Sawyer.
It's nice of Sawyer. It's a nice scene. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
That's the show, huh?
Yeah, that's the show.
Not a good episode.
Awful episode.
Fun to talk about, but I didn't like it.
It was bad. Very bad.
But we've got, as previously established, we've got many more Lost to go.
We've got more to watch, and why don't I go to random.org to see what we can get?
Why the heck don't you? What's stopping you?
Nothing. I'm doing it.
Alrighty. What do you got for me?
I'm here at random.org. I put in 1 to 60, and what do we got? 26.
26. 26 is season 3, episode 10. The episode is titled Trisha Tanaka is Dead.
Cool.
And it's a Hurley episode.
Awesome. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love Hurley.
Everybody loves Hurley.
Aw.
Just thinking about him.
Weezer.
We got one scene with him in this episode, and it was a bad one. So
I'm excited. Let's get some good ones.
Let's get some good ones. Give me some good ones, please. That's been the show. I've been Bean. You can follow me on Twitter at Barrier Trio.
I'm James. Check me out at James Brown.
And you can follow the show at facebook.com/theislandshuffle or twitter.com/islandshuffle. We would like to also shout out our hosty network, our podcast network that we're a part of, Noisepace.xyz. hosted by Matt. Thank you, Matt, for having us. And
Thank you, Matt.
thank you to thank you to all the other podcasts on
Thank
there
you
for
all.
being very funny. To Jurgenet, Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die, My Pod Cabbages, Giants Confirmed. There's a new podcast actually.
Oh,
It's called Tuning Fork, and it's all about like pitchfork shit.
cool.
It's
That
great.
sounds interesting, actually.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm excited to. It's a very promising premise.
Cool.
And that's